we can talk about two major applications. One is all the power application on one side, and on the other side what we call the multimedia convergence. And of course these two segments are developing very, very quickly, particularly the multimedia convergence. When I talk about multimedia convergence, of course is a convergence between, for example, the wireless and the consumer application. Today, more and more, there is no differentiation as far as the basic functions are concerned. It's more of the dimension of the screen, of the way you use the terminal, which is differentiating. And ST Microelectronics is present on all these applications, consumer, but also wireless, for example, car multimedia. And now, on the power application, here there are many applications, including some analog, but also MEMS, micro machinery, is a product which are developing very. And if you look at this industry, since it started up to 2000, the growth of this industry was about 15%, the compound growth. And suddenly, starting in 2001, when there was a big drop, minus 30%, for example, of the market between 2000 and 2001, since then, the growth of this market has been slowing down. So instead of 15 to 16%, now we are more at 8 to 9% growth. So our industry is maturing, if you wish. And on top of that, what has happened is that the cost of the wafer fab, because the cost of a factory has really increased dramatically, as well as the cost of technology development. And therefore, this induced a lot of changes. And for example, the cost of manufacturing means that there are less and less semiconductor companies who can afford to handle their own manufacturing. Therefore, during the last 10 years, you can see the development of silicon foundry. Of course, it happened especially in Taiwan, but also in China now, and in Singapore, and even in Europe. So this was also a very important parameter, the cost of the wafer fab, inducing the strengthening of wafer foundry. And today, a lot of companies are not managing any longer or mastering any longer their manufacturing. As far as the technology R&D is concerned, there also the cost of technology R&D has increased dramatically. Today, if you want to master your technology, you need to spend between $500 to $600 million. So therefore, there are less and less companies who are mastering their technology. In ST, we found a way to still mastering our technology while sharing the cost of the technology development. So the way we are doing it is by participating, for example, to what's called ISDA, which is a consortium around IBM, to co-develop with them, with several companies, and by the way it includes, for example, Samsung, but also our company, to co-develop the technology that we need. So these are some major changes. On top of that, what is happening in this industry also is that this industry is moving east. It started with the manufacturing activity. I mean, being in Hong Kong, I don't have to describe what has happened in China and not far from here in Shenzhen, with a lot of manufacturing activity here. But it's not only manufacturing which is moving here, it's also R&D. And when I talk R&D, it's product development. I'm not talking about technology R&D, but product development and software development, because our product now, we are not selling only silicon. We are selling function and including, of course, software which are embedded in our product. Industry, I was saying that the long-term trend now is no more 15%. So the long-term trend is going to be a compound growth rate of between 8 and 9%, which of course is a deceleration, but at the same time it's not a disaster. Many industry will be very pleased to have a growth of 8 to 9%. And So this industry, I mentioned, the two areas of focus that we have. On one side, the power and the power management, and on the other side, the convergence of the application. And this is, of course, is going to be more and more important. And ST is very well positioned in this industry. Our goal is to outgrow the market. So, of course, short term, but also long term. Now, I was mentioning also our goal in terms of profitability, which is also a medium-term goal, to reach a return on net asset between 12 and 18%. And all our efforts are focused on that, because, of course, at the end of the day, we want to create shareholder value.